What defines the greatest of all time? In some sports, the answer is clear, no debate, no questions asked. And in others, the fight to the top is eternal, Ronaldo or Messi. And in basketball, well, that conversation never ends. What truly defines the greatest of all time? Is it somebody who had the most influence on the game? The player who elevates everyone around him no matter the team and situation? The one with unmatched basketball IQ, or the one who allowed you to see the game from a different perspective while making it look easy? Everyone has a take, but today we settle it once and for all. Hi guys, my name's Taranjit and this is like my first ever official YouTube video. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. So how do we even begin to define the greatest of all time? Greatness goes deeper than just numbers, so let's break it down. We have legacy. Did they leave the game different from how they found it? Legends don't just dominate their era, they define it. When their name comes up, you know exactly what time it is. It's easy to have a great season, maybe even two, but the real GOATs, they do it year after year through injuries, noise, game evolution. They always come out on top. Consistency at its highest level is rarer than you could ever imagine. A personal favourite of mine, we've got handles, footwork, shooting, defense, basketball IQ. How complete is your game? GOATs just don't play the game, they master every single angle of it. They make the impossible look routine. You either succumb to pressure or you let it etch your name in the history book. When it's the fourth quarter, shot clock winding down, lights at their brightest. Do you want the ball or do you hide? Finally, basketball has always been bigger than the game itself. What did they do beyond the game? The true GOATs shift the entire culture. You feel their presence everywhere. Now, greatness isn't just one thing, it's all of it. So now that we know the standard, let's see who lives up to it. Now, when we're talking about game changers, we have to mention Stephen Curry, the father of the three-point revolution. The reason you see players today pulling up from 30 feet like it's nothing. Steph didn't just extend the range, he redefined it. He normalized pulling up off the dribble, not just from deep, but the logo with lethal efficiency. He made what used to be considered a bad shot a great shot. His impact wasn't just individual, he forced teams to adapt or get left behind. The rise of Steph Curry and the Warriors' domination era redefined modern basketball. It inspired small ball lineups focused on pace, spacing, and shooting from every position. His impact forced teams to prioritize floor stretching bigs and quicker ball movement, forever changing the game's offensive strategy, and enhanced this trend of positionless basketball. Let's talk numbers though. Before Steph was drafted, the league three-point average was 22%. That's roughly 1 in every 5 shots. And since Steph's rookie season, that number has nearly doubled. That's not just the evolution, that's a revolution. Steph didn't just change the game, Steph changed the map. And when you change the map, you force the entire league to play catch up. Please bear in mind, this was a kid whose ability to play at a high level was doubted by many colleges due to him being undersized. He only went to the NBA and changed it forever, right? And when we're talking about players who redefine everything, we cannot forget to mention Allen Iverson, a one-of-one and one of my favorite players of all time. He made the hardest plays look effortless, coast to coast, finishing through heavy contact, crossing up the biggest names in the league and locking in on defense, even while being undersized for his era. AI didn't fit the mold, he broke it. And skill-wise, only a handful of players have ever come close. And let's talk about it. Kyrie Irving is the only player in today's game who moves with the same magic, or even deeper, the bounce, the rhythm, like he's dancing with the ball. There's artistry in every single step. Controlled chaos if you wish. Unscripted, untouchable. The definition of true poetry in motion. Considered the best player we've ever seen with the ball in his hands. But don't take my word for it. That's LeBron talking. Back to Iverson. Iverson came into the league with controversy, a pass the media couldn't let go of, but he rose above it all, took a Sixers team nobody believed in and dragged them to the NBA Finals. Game 1 versus the Los Angeles Lakers, 48 points against one of the greatest NBA teams of all time. He didn't just show up, he showed out. He averaged 35 points per game that series. No second star, no excuses, just pure grit and greatness. But Iverson's impact has actually transcended the court, as we all know. He was the blueprint. Braids, tats, baggy clothes, chains. He brought culture to the NBA, and the league wasn't ready for it. They fined him, criticized him, changed the dress code because of him, but 2 decades later, look around, everyone dresses like AI. His fingerprints are everywhere. He didn't just inspire players, he acted as an inspiration for generations to come. Iverson was never chasing trends, he was the trend. So when we talk about GOATs, if we're talking skill, style, and real cultural impact, you have to mention the answer. And when we talk about GOATs of the modern day era, there's one name that's often denied but can never be overlooked, and that's Kevin Durant. And let's be real, if you've been paying attention, there shouldn't really be a debate for KD, but if you're still on the fence, ask yourself as he did himself, why shouldn't I be in that? That's the question to ask. Why not? What haven't I done? And it's true, what hasn't KD done? Now, I know we're talking about NBA GOATs, but Kevin Durant has been one of the greatest at every single level he's played at. High school, college, the NBA, you name it. He's been dominating the game before he even stepped foot onto an NBA court, breaking barriers, writing history, and debatably the best freshman in college history. So there's never been one quite like him. And now he's the blueprint for the next generation in the NBA and WNBA. Capable of handling the ball like a guard, shooting from anywhere on the floor, driving to the rim with ease, and still contributing defensively. KD had legends of the NBA struggling to crack his game. They had never seen anything like this before. And after making the controversial move from OKC to Golden State, which he doesn't regret, and why would he? He became the best player on that Warriors team. This is the same squad that just came back from blowing a 3-1 lead in the finals the season prior to. KD wasn't just joining a team, he was rewriting their legacy. Rookie of the Year with the Seattle Sonics was just the opening act. In Oklahoma, he didn't just score, he stamped his presence as a force in the league. By 2012, at just 23 years old, he averaged 30 points per game against that Miami Heat team in the finals. He was the definition of young, hungry, and unguardable. This is when you just let the world do the talking. 2 finals MVPs, back-to-back championships. In 2017, he averaged 35 points per game, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. That iconic dagger over LeBron, that wasn't just a shot, that was a statement. And in 2018, he did it again. 28 points per game, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, and that game 3 where he dropped 43 points, just pure dominance. Even after a career-threatening Achilles injury in 2019, he came back strong, averaging 26-7-5 with the Nats, and his 2021 Eastern Conference semi-finals performance, legendary. Game 5 and 7 were absolute masterclasses. He set the NBA record for the most points scored in a Game 7, and if you think that's impressive, he holds the highest Game 7 scoring average in NBA history with 36 points per game. When it comes to stepping up under pressure, KD is simply different. Now, I know KD's move to Phoenix felt like destiny, pairing with Devin Booker and later Bradley Beal. It honestly had fans dreaming of what they claim to be a super team. And even though he delivered night in, night out, efficient buckets, stepping up during big moments, the team as a whole just couldn't find the pace. Injuries, lack of depth, shaky chemistry. They never quite found their rhythm when it mattered most. So it just wasn't the storybook ending everybody wanted to be. But it's fine, because now it's a fresh page, a new chapter, one that's less about proving something and more about building something. This young Rockets roster is hungry, athletic, and full of potential, and KD brings the blueprint. This isn't about passing the torch just yet. This is about reminding everyone that the flame's still blowing. This isn't a retirement lap, it's a new mission. And if history's taught us anything, it's that KD leaves a mark everywhere he goes. And that's the thing about KD, when the pressure's at its highest, he doesn't just rise, he transcends. From high school gyms to NBA arenas, KD has carried every expectation, faced every challenge, and still found ways to surpass them. He is undeniably one of the greatest to ever do it. So when KD asks, what haven't I done? Let's be honest, not much at this point. It's not about what he can achieve, it's just about how much deeper he can carve his name into NBA history right now. But now it's time. The debate that transcends the game itself. 2 names that stand above the rest, casting shadows over entire eras. LeBron James, Michael Jordan, 2 titans of different generations. yet eternally linked by one question: who's the real GOAT? It's more than just numbers, it's legacy, it's impact, it's moments that live forever. So let's get into it. 22 years deep, the all-time leading scorer in the NBA, top 5 assists, LeBron James is the definition of a generational athlete, entering the league with impossible expectations and still somehow managing to surpass them all. A versatile defender, elite playmaker, and a leader who raises the level of everyone around him. And then there are his accolades that stand as an undeniable proof to his greatness: 4 NBA championships, 4 MVPs, 19 All-Star selections, 18 All-NBA team appearances. He's not just a scorer, he's the highest point scorer in NBA history and the only member of the 38,000 points, 10,000 rebounds and 10,000 assists club. He's played in the playoffs for 18 seasons with 10 finals appearances, and he's led one of the most iconic comebacks in sports history, bringing home a championship to Cleveland after being 3-1 down to a Warriors team that everyone thought was unbeatable. And can we just note that this trophy was bigger than just an NBA championship? This trophy actually ended the 52-year league trophy drought in the city of Cleveland as a whole. Now, LeBron didn't just excel in the game, he redefined what greatness looked like. He didn't just win, he wrote history. His journey's a true testament to overcoming the impossible. It's not just nostalgia, it's not just highlights on a VHS tape, it's true dominance, mindset, accolades, and cultural impact. When MJ stepped on the court, it was more than just a game, it was a global event. He never lost in the finals, 6-0, 2 3-peats in 8 years. And even after stepping away from the game to pursue basketball, he came back and reclaimed his throne like it was nothing. His career averaged 30 points per game, which is the highest in NBA history. Playoffs, 33.4 points per game, the highest ever. He wasn't just a basketball player, MJ was basketball. Jordan was the first global star of the NBA. He turned sneakers into cultural icons. And in 2025, when I'm filming this now, Jordan Brand is still the pinnacle of basketball culture decades later. So the question remains, does cultural impact factor into the GOAT debate? Because if it does, MJ's influence is still unmatched. LeBron has longevity, but Jordan's peak is arguably the most dominant peak in sports history. Why? Because in that span, Jordan won 6 championships, 5 MVPs, 10 scoring titles, and led the league in steals 3 times. He was a 9-time All-Defensive First Team selection. And during that era, he was essentially unstoppable in the playoffs, never losing a final series and never needing a Game 7. I could talk about his numbers all day, but his dominance wasn't just about winning. It was about doing it with an ironclad grip on the league. For over a decade, the NBA was Jordan's playground, and nobody even came close. Meanwhile, LeBron's career is the ongoing embodiment of consistency. 22 seasons of excellence, consistently at the top, and truly redefining what durability and longevity mean in the sport. His accolades alone stand as a testament to his dominance across multiple eras. If Jordan reigned over his era like a general conquering every battlefield, LeBron has been the timeless architect building his legacy brick by brick, season after season, adapting and thriving across generations. Let's discuss what isn't shown on the stat sheet too though. LeBron's basketball IQ is almost mythical. Coaches and players alike said he knows his opponent's plays before they even make them. He can anticipate moves, can adjust mid-play, and dissect defenses in real time. He just has a different level of understanding. The game simply slows down for him, and his vision allows him to find angles and opportunities that just at that moment seem invisible to everyone else. His leadership elevates teams. You don't just play with LeBron, you become better because of him. Jordan, on the other hand, led through sheer will and relentlessness. Jordan didn't just want to win, he wanted to break his opponent. And his teammates became extensions of his flawless victory and that killer instinct, which translates to 6 flawless finals runs. With MJ, you felt the weight of every possession, every shot. The game wasn't just being played, it was being conquered. Now, when it comes to clutch moments, both LeBron and Jordan have delivered some of the most iconic plays in basketball history. LeBron's ability to perform under pressure is undeniable, from his block on Iggy in Game 7 of the 2016 finals to his clutch shot that gave the Cavs the lead in the final moments of the same game. LeBron consistently delivers when it matters most, and his basketball IQ and composure in critical moments make him a consistent force in high-stakes situations like this. And Jordan's 6-0 finals record honestly speaks for itself. He never lost in the finals and never needed a Game 7 to secure a championship. He always took over when it mattered most. Now, both players had their own ways of impacting the game, and each was a revolutionary force in their own right. LeBron's versatility allowed him to adapt through every era of basketball, while Jordan's skill and killer instinct took him to the peak of the game during his prime. Now, when it comes to leadership, LeBron is always mentioned in high regard. If being a basketball player who uses his IQ to help you on the court isn't enough, every single player that has played with LeBron James has told you they are now a better player because of LeBron James. But Jordan actually brought something completely different to the table, and he paved the way for all players after him. His leadership wasn't just about how he performed on the court, but about the unwavering confidence he instilled in his teammates. His legendary mentality was unmatched, infectious. Players wanted to be great because Jordan demanded greatness and led by it. MJ set the standard for how champions should operate, but his influence wasn't just confined to teams, it was global. His direct connection to the culture became known as the Jordan effect, especially through the Air Jordan brand, which has cemented him as a figure who has reshaped the entire sports and fashion landscape. This one man made companies believe that players could grow into superstars on the court and marketing machines off of it. So something that seems so normal to us today is because of Michael Jordan. One of the most remarkable aspects of LeBron's legacy is his ability to sustain greatness over the course of 22 seasons. He's consistently stayed in conversations for MVP, All-NBA selections, and championships across different eras of the game. His ability to maintain such high standards physically and mentally for over 2 decades is unheard of, and his commitment to keeping himself at the peak of physical performance has created a new model for what it means to be an athlete in this modern age. Now, Jordan's peak, on the other hand, was a flash of brilliance that captivated the entire world during the 90s. His 6 championships in 8 years, his flawless finals record, and his unyielding drive to win were the hallmark of his era. However, it's important to remember that Jordan's time was also marked by retirement, so it's fair to wonder what might have been if Jordan had stayed in the league without interruption. What if we'd seen more years of the Jordan era? Would his legacy have been even more invincible, or would we have seen a downward trajectory in his career, completely eliminating the need for this debate? Now, one perspective I always take into consideration when it comes to debates like this is kind of hearing the perspective of people that actually got to play with and against both LeBron and Jordan, which is very rare, but obviously you'll have the odd people like Allen Iverson, Steve Kerr, who have had that amazing opportunity. Steve Kerr even had the opportunity to train train LeBron, and I can't lie, it hasn't exactly been a split decision. When defining the ideal perfect basketball player, they often do lean more towards LeBron, but when these players and coaches talk about Jordan, it's like they're talking about something otherworldly. I don't know if it was that combination of respect and fear that they had for him when they used to play against him, and if that bias is coming into play. But when they mention Jordan, it's completely different. It's just a mix of fear and admiration, and I can't lie, that is the problem with this debate. As much as people don't want to admit it, it will always be subjective. There's no way to say this is what contributes to being the greatest of all time and these players fit it, because in my opinion, the game of basketball has always been bigger than basketball, like we've just discussed. And there's the GOAT of handles, there's the GOAT defensive player, to me, I don't really think we could pick a GOAT. Okay, not just in the midst of, after I have finished editing this video, listening back to my conclusion, it honestly wasn't me at all. I did try to play the whole game of what truly defines the greatest of all time there, and try to play both the sides of LeBron and MJ, but that's honestly not me. My goal is Allen Iverson. It will always be Allen Iverson. You know, I might say Kyrie too. It genuinely is both of them. In terms of the greatest of all time when it comes to basketball, it's the most subjective thing in the world, no matter what sport it is, because sport evokes emotion, and anything that evokes emotion logic goes out the window, and that's fine. That truly is fine. I think that's the most fun thing about this debate. In terms of AI being my GOAT, when has there ever... Okay, so in the NBA, championships are kind of like the foot of, oh, this person's the greatest of all time because they won X amount of rings. AI never won a ring. He won MVP during a time of the most loaded players. The guy dropped the world's GOAT. For me, Allen Iverson, I don't think AI can ever be replicated. He never will be replicated, and that's why I love him so much. I also do want to keep this part of the video very short, because I'm not going to be editing or doing anything to it. I'm just going to post it like this. And I know it can always be argued, like LeBron and MJ, this argument can go on forever. I literally had to cut a part out because the video was getting far too long, and I just didn't want my first video to be 30 minutes long. And I know people can argue, and another argument can be, oh, MJ's food game shows he's the GOAT because he performed when he was that ill. But if we want to do that, let's talk about how Dirk beat that Miami Heat team in the NBA Finals while he had the flu. Like, let's talk about Dirk, let's talk about that, let's talk about Brandon Roy. Like, I think the main purpose of this video was kind of, you know, I want to know who your GOAT is, why are they your GOAT, what have they kind of done that made you look at them and be like, yeah, this is the greatest player of all time. Completely define all logic, anything, like who is a player that evokes that emotion in you. Yeah, I don't want this conclusion to be too long. I just wanted to be honest and say you love my GOAT AI. I'm sorry. And yeah, I'm gonna switch it back to the old outro now because this right now is a bit of a mess. So when it's all said and done, like, who's your GOAT? Who's your GOAT at basketball? Who's your GOAT at football? Who's your GOAT? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video. First are many to come. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.